You know, for me, there's nothing quite as good as a fresh, ripe tomato straight from the garden. And as my garden starts to grow, I can hardly wait for the first ripe tomatoes to appear. So it would be really disappointing when you find that your tomatoes have developed a nasty little thing called blossom end rot. Blossom end rot shows up mostly on tomatoes, but it can also develop on peppers and chilies, as well as on eggplants, squash, and even melons. It can occur when the fruit is just forming and green, or it may develop later as the fruit begins to ripen. Blossom end rot is a water-soaked area that gradually gets bigger and eventually turns into a sunken, brown, leathery spot on the bottom end of the fruit or vegetable where the blossom was. Blossom end rot is not a disease, and it isn't caused by bugs. It's actually a deficiency in calcium in the plant. Tomatoes and other fruits and vegetables need calcium to develop and grow. Calcium is very slow-moving, so if the tomato grows too quickly, or if water absorption is slowed down, the calcium won't have time to get through the whole fruit. The tissues start to break down and it shows up as damage at the bottom. One reason for blossom end rot may be that there isn't enough calcium in the soil. That can be easily fixed. The other more common reason is because of uneven watering. Cool, wet weather, like we've had recently, followed by hot, dry conditions, can play a large part. Also, fertilizer, too high in nitrogen, can lead to rapid growth, but it may reduce the intake of calcium in the plant. If a lack of calcium in the soil is the problem, especially with container plants, try adding some gypsum or agricultural lime directly to the soil. Keep in mind, though, that lime will raise the pH in the soil to more alkaline levels. The gypsum won't have any effect on the pH. So if your soil is already high pH or alkaline, like most of our soil here is, you'd probably be better off using gypsum. You can also make a slurry out of gypsum or garden lime and pour it around the plant. Put 2 or 3 handfuls of gypsum in about a gallon of water and mix it up. Then pour a cup or 2 around the plant. Some gardeners have even found success using antacid tablets, like Tums, since they are high in calcium. Crush up a couple of tablets in a gallon of water and pour around the plant, or put a couple of tablets right in the soil around the base of the plant where it will dissolve. There are also some foliar sprays containing calcium that can be sprayed right on the plant. They're safe and easy to use. I've used this one, Bonide Rot Stop, which contains liquid calcium. I spray it on even before the tomatoes form to prevent blossom end rot from happening. The calcium is absorbed directly through the leaves into the plant, although not as quickly as when it's taken up through the roots. The best prevention, though, for most of us, is to keep your soil evenly moist. You don't want the soil to be too wet or too dry. Also, avoid daily surface watering. Instead, water deeply, but less frequently, maybe once every couple of days instead of every day. Drip systems and soaker hoses can help, especially for containers, which tend to dry out faster. Once blossom end rot happens, there's nothing you can do to reverse it. The fruit is basically ruined. But you can cut off the part of the tomato or vegetable that's affected by the blossom end rot, and the rest will be okay to eat. Blossom end rot happens to the best of gardeners, but taking a few steps now can control it or prevent it from happening in the first place, so you can enjoy a bounty of fresh tomatoes and vegetables throughout the summer. And you can grow it. For Idaho's News Channel 7, I'm Jim Duthie.